Indiana Fever's three-game win streak without Caitlin Clark, WNBA highlights analysis. Against all odds, and without their superstar Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever are rewriting expectations and making waves in the league. For the first time since their last playoff triumph in 2015, the Fever find themselves 3 games above 500, boasting a 15-12 record after Wednesday's thrilling 107-101 victory over the Phoenix Mercury. Could this be a sign that the team has finally turned a meaningful corner? Or is their recent surge just an anomaly? Keep reading, because this is where things get interesting. Caitlin Clark has now sat out her 5th straight game, sidelined by a persistent right groin injury. But her absence has only galvanized the rest of her teammates, who have rallied spectacularly in her stead. Wednesday's high-octane shootout at Gainbridge Fieldhouse showcased the team's depth and resolve, as they took down a determined Mercury squad. But the underlying story of the night wasn't just the final score. It was DeWanna Bonner's dramatic return to Indianapolis after a turbulent exit just a month ago. The Gainbridge crowd didn't hide their feelings, initially greeting Bonner with a cascade of boos. Yet, as the game unfolded, Indiana fans shifted their energy to lifting their own team, fueling the Fever's resilience. The game itself was a roller coaster. Indiana trailed by double figures after the opening quarter, only to turn the tables in the second, entering halftime with a hard-fought lead. When the Mercury reclaimed the edge early in the fourth quarter behind Aliyah Copper, the question lingered. Did the Fever have enough grit to respond? Enter Aliyah Boston. The all-star center commandeered the game with a stunning personal 10-0 run in just 2 minutes, seizing control for Indiana and providing the spark they needed. Though the Mercury kept battling, Boston's timely dominance and her team's collective determination secured one of their most impressive wins of the season. And here's the part you might not expect. Even without Clark's extraordinary playmaking, the Fever offense hasn't sputtered. Boston, now in her 4th consecutive double-double performance, poured in 22 points and snagged 12 rebounds. With Clark out for much of the season, Boston has shouldered tremendous responsibility, averaging 15.6 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 3.8 assists per game, while shooting an efficient 54.8%. Not only are these career best marks in scoring and assists, they underline just how much Boston's game has grown under pressure. Meanwhile, Aari McDonald, originally a hardship signing to cover Clark's earlier absence, has blossomed into a critical starter. She delivered a career-high 27 points in this contest. Ironically, it was Bonner's forced exit that gave the Fever the salary cap flexibility to sign McDonald for the rest of the season. Her fit? Remarkably more effective than Bonner's, both offensively and defensively. Across 16 games for Indiana, McDonald is averaging 9.6 points, 4.4 assists, and 1.4 steals, pushing the tempo on offense and injecting energy into their perimeter defense. And this is the point many might overlook. With their current momentum, Indiana can now afford to be even more careful with Clark's recovery. There's no official timetable for her return, but the team's ongoing success means there's less pressure to rush. As a result of Wednesday's win, the Fever sit alone in 6th place, actually closer to 3rd, 1.5 games back of the Mercury, than slipping out of playoff contention, where they maintain a 2-game cushion above the 9th place Golden State Valkyries. But here's a hot take. Has the Fever's recent surge made Clark's absence less critical, or is this run just temporary luck? Can this new team identity hold up in the postseason, or will Indiana need their rookie sensation back to truly compete with the league's elite? Now it's your turn. Do you think the Fever's team-first approach is more sustainable than relying on one star, or will Clark's talent prove essential as the stakes get higher? Sound off below. Let's hear your take on Indiana's playoff promise and what it all means for Clark's role moving forward. Fever stun Mercury. Aari McDonald's 27 points leads Indiana to a 107-101 win. WNBA highlights. Imagine the intensity of a high-stakes basketball game, where the Indiana Fever, despite being without their star player Caitlin Clark, managed to secure a thrilling victory over the Phoenix Mercury. This matchup was a roller coaster of emotions, showcasing the resilience and determination of the Fever. Let's dive into the details of this exciting game. The Indiana Fever, led by Aari McDonald, rallied from a sluggish start to defeat the Phoenix Mercury 107-101 on Wednesday night. McDonald had a career-high performance, scoring 27 points, shooting 7 for 11 from the field and 3 for 4 from the three-point line. She was also perfect at the free throw line, making all 10 of her attempts. Her aggressive mindset was crucial in keeping the Fever competitive in the first half. It was all about confidence. McDonald shared in her post-game interview on ESPN, "I didn't like the way I had been playing recently. Tonight, I was just in an attack mentality." Aliyah Boston also played a pivotal role, contributing 22 points and 12 rebounds. With this win, the Fever have now won 3 consecutive games, improving their overall record to 15-12. Meanwhile, the Mercury dropped to 16-10 for the season. Alyssa Thomas put on a dominant performance for the Mercury, recording a double-double with a game-high 32 points and 15 rebounds. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite Thomas's stellar performance, the Mercury couldn't secure the win. This raises the question, can one player's exceptional performance always guarantee a team victory? Here's a breakdown of how the game unfolded. Fever versus Mercury highlights. Fever versus Mercury final score. The Fever bounced back from a slow start to secure a 107-101 victory over the Mercury. Alyssa Thomas led the Mercury with 32 points and 15 rebounds. Kahleah Copper added 22 points, while Sammy Whitcomb contributed 18 points and 3 assists off the bench. Fever versus Mercury score. End of Q3. After 3 quarters, the Fever held a narrow 2-point lead. Aari McDonald had a game-high 23 points and 3 assists for Indiana. Damiris Datis contributed 12 points and 3 rebounds off the bench. Alyssa Thomas led the Mercury with 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Kahleah Copper had 17 points. Fever versus Mercury score. End of Q2. The Fever made a strong comeback in the second quarter, taking a 55-50 lead against the Mercury. Indiana outscored Phoenix 35-20 to overcome a 10-point deficit from the first quarter and take the lead into halftime. Aari McDonald had 17 points and 2 assists for the Fever. Sydney Colson and Kelsey Mitchell each scored 8 points. Alyssa Thomas had 14 points and 6 rebounds for the Mercury, with Kahleah Copper adding 12 points. Fever versus Mercury score. End of Q1. The Mercury finished the first quarter with a 30-20 lead. Alyssa Thomas had 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists for the Mercury. Satou Sabally added 6 points and 3 rebounds. Aari McDonald led the Fever with 5 points and an assist in the opening quarter. What jerseys are the Indiana Fever wearing? The Indiana Fever donned their Stranger Things-themed jerseys on Wednesday. This is the second consecutive game they've worn these jerseys, which are part of a collaboration with Netflix. The show, set in a fictional town in Indiana, is a popular series exclusive to the streaming platform and will enter its 5th and final season later this year. And this is the part most people miss. The Fever's jerseys are not just a fashion statement. They're a nod to the team's home state and a celebration of a beloved TV series. Fever starting lineup versus Mercury. The Fever's starting lineup for the game against the Mercury included Aari McDonald, Kelsey Mitchell, Sophie Cunningham, Natasha Howard, and Aliyah Boston. Mercury's starting lineup versus Fever. The Mercury starting lineup for the road game against the Fever featured Monique Koa-Makani, Satou Sabally, Alyssa Thomas, Natasha Mack, and Kahleah Copper. Will Caitlin Clark play against Mercury? Caitlin Clark was officially ruled out for Wednesday's game against the Phoenix Mercury. This was her 5th consecutive game missed due to a right groin injury. The second-year player sought another medical opinion and was reported to have no additional injuries or damage. However, there's no timetable available for her return. This absence has sparked debate among fans and analysts alike. Some argue that the Fever's resilience in her absence proves the team's depth, while others believe her presence would have made a significant difference. What do you think? What time is the Phoenix Mercury versus Indiana Fever game? The Indiana Fever hosted the Phoenix Mercury on Wednesday, July 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The game was broadcast nationally on ESPN3 and Merc Plus. How to watch Phoenix Mercury versus Indiana Fever. TV stream. Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Location, Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Indianapolis, Indiana. Streaming. ESPN3, Merc Plus. The USA Today app gets you to the heart of the news, fast. Download for award-winning coverage, crosswords, audio storytelling, the e-newspaper, and more. https://app.adjust.com, 1EL9H6E4. So what are your thoughts on the Fever's victory? Do you believe the team's performance was a testament to their resilience? Or do you think Caitlin Clark's absence was a significant factor? Share your opinions in the comments below.